Hello everyone, welcome on in. It's Betting Weekly WTA. It's your WTA tennis betting podcast and YouTube show brought to you in association with Bet Rivers. I'm your host, Nigel Seeley. Glad you could join us for our best bet show on round one in the tournaments in Hobart and Adelaide. Let me introduce you to our senior handicapper for 2026. It's Tim Dennis, a man who's been great form last week, 2-1 on his first round picks and two winners on the tournaments as well. Good morning to you. Nice and early this morning. Tim, how are you doing, mate?
Morning, Nigel. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, a good start to the year. Unfortunately, our tournament pick in Hobart went out overnight, but that brings us back down to earth a little bit. But a little bit unfortunate. I think she was the better player. She led the stats 102 to 98 service points, one return points, one. But that doesn't always get the job done, and Danilovic just won the more important points. So yeah, unfortunately, Kester out of the first hurdle, but and Boko started off well for you, so that she's got us off on the right foot in Adelaide. So yeah, some decent first round matches to get stuck into today.
Yeah, our pick was McCartney Kessler, the defending champion in Hobart. She won the first set against Danilovic, but lost in three tight sets. Head across to the BetRivers website for all the latest tournament winner markets in Hobart and Adelaide. The prices will be updated after last night's play, and download the app. And obviously, if you ever bet on any selection that Tim has today, you can live stream the match on the comfort of your home computer, your tablet, I'll get there in the end, tablet or your mobile device. Okay, straight on into the bets. Before we do that, we have to talk about the conditions last night. Was it what we expected? It was hot, sticky in Adelaide. Hobart a little bit cooler. Was the court speed what you thought? You know, you sat up and watched the tennis last night. Did you think it was what we expected, or was there a few shocks in the way the conditions were?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much what we expected. I mean, Adelaide. Tomorrow for our matches, they're warm, sunny, mid to high 80s. So decent conditions there over in Adelaide, and like we spoke at the start of the week, a little bit cooler in Hobart. Well, a fair bit cooler, looking only in sort of mid 60s. A little bit of rain around, so there could be a chance of interruptions. I think there's a sort of 7-hour period, sort of in between 10 and 5 o'clock, where they've got stating sort of a 20% chance of rain at the moment, so hopefully they'll avoid it for the sake of the tournament. But there might be the odd interruptions there. But certainly a lot cooler in Hobart, like we suggested, and conditions should be that little bit quicker in Adelaide.
Now, we're going to start with Adelaide, and the tournament gets underway this evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So that is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So if we preview a match early on, you've got that time limit to get your bets on with Bet Rivers. Our first match is at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, so a little bit later. It's one of the second matches on court. It's a match involving the local player, Maya Joint, moving up the rankings quite fast against the American, former major champion, and not probably at the best of her career, Sofia Kenin, it's fair to say. Maya Joint is the favourite here. She does lead 2-0 in the head-to-head. She's minus 130, the Aussie. Plus 105 for Sofia Kenin. Minus 1.5 is the spread. So 1.5, you want to dip with Kenin. Plus 1.5, it's minus 117. If you want to take the favourite, minus 1.5, it's minus 112. And the total here is 21.5. There is 38 different markets currently available on the Bet Rivers app, and you can download that app. And if you do have a bet on the match, you can watch that match at 11:30 p.m. tonight. Just on this match, like I said, Maya Joint does lead 2-0 in the head-to-head. She bet both of them last year. Once in Seoul, she won 2-0, 6-3, 6-1, and exactly the same scoreline, 6-3, 6-1, at the start of the year in Hobart, the other tournament we're going to talk about a little later on. So they didn't play in Adelaide, they decided to play in Hobart. Kenin is a player that I just cannot read. Whenever I've bet her, she absolutely lets me down. And whenever I oppose her, she produces amazing talents. She's hit or miss. Is she going to be hit or miss tomorrow against the local girl, Maya Joint?
Well, hopefully for our sake, she's going to be a miss tomorrow, Nigel, because we're looking to get with Maya Joint here. Like you said, she's probably two players at slightly different ends of their career. Kenin probably just coming into the twilight of her career now, and Joint sort of on the up. I think Joint started last year at 118 in the world rankings, and she's up to a career high of 32. So really sort of progressing and going the right way. Like you said, she leads the head-to-head 2-0 and 4-0, which surprisingly with two games winning exactly the same score, 6-3, 6-1. But she led the service points one and return points one totals 120 to 80 in those two matches. And Kenin winning just 28.5% of second serve serve points compared to a real massive 60.5% for Joint. So a real sort of difference in the stats there. And Joint has had 2 losses to start her season, but they've come against Iga Swiatek and Barbora Krejcikova at the United Cup. So sort of a high level of opposition. So hopefully for our sake, she's not going to be sort of confidence knocked from there. It shouldn't be, because she's, like I said, she's been on the up, and she previously to that she won both her matches at the Billie Jean King Cup, and she made the semi-finals in Hong Kong to end last year. So she should be taking that form in here, and I don't think those 2 losses to those sort of decent level Grand Slam winners should be knocking her confidence. Like we say, she started last year 118 in the world and progressed all the way up to 32 where she is now. So she should be full of confidence coming here. And I think with home support behind her and sort of Kenin lost her second round match in Brisbane, and conditions that here, again, I think they should favour Joint. So I think this is sort of quite a game I really want to get with. I think Joint minus 130 is probably a little bit short for us to be getting involved. So I think if we go Joint on the handicap, the spread there is minus 1.5. But if we just move that toggle down one more to minus 2.5, we can get a plus money bet. You can get plus 105 there at minus 2.5 games. And I think looking at those service points, one return points, one totals, and the conditions here, I think there's a little bit of a play as well to get with Joint to win 2 sets to love to match those previous 2 matches. And that's plus 175 with Bet Rivers. So I think we can probably spread our split stakes here over Joint to cover the handicap, adding a game at minus 2.5. And also for her to win in straight sets at plus 175, I think is very fair.
So there's the way to approach it. Mayor Joint is the favourite. She's minus 130 with Bet Rivers. Might be want to put in a parlay if you want to have a look at the other tennis offerings on the app. But for us, we're splitting our stakes. We're going for Mayor Joint minus 2.5 games at plus 105. And we're going for Mayor Joint to win 2 sets to love, which is a very nice plus 175. And that is cashed in both of the previous matches between these 2 players. What are we going? Are we having 1 U on each or half a U each? What's our staking strategy here?
I think if we have 1 unit on her to win the minus 2.5 games, and if we go half a unit on plus 175 straight sets, I think that's probably the best way to do it.
So we're risking 1.5 units on our first match. It's Mayor Joint against Sofia Kenin. Never get Kenin right. I'll be following you in tonight, and I can guarantee you Kenin will have the game of her season, because the Seeley curse will be on Kenin. Yeah.
Or maybe stay away, maybe stay away.
I think that's probably the best thing to do. That match, as I said, starts at 11:30 this evening, Eastern time. So you have plenty of time to get across, 11 p.m, to get across to the BetRivers website, download their app, and make sure you bet on that. Well, obviously, we're in great form on the channel on the tennis. Sean Calvert, another plus money winner overnight. I think that's 7 on the bounce to start the ATP. And we'll be back on tomorrow giving you bets on the ATP Tour as well. And as I said, Tim is 2-1 on the year. So winners galore, and hopefully Mayor Joint can add to that roll of honours that we're starting 2026. Our next match is a feature match of the day. I think it's a really interesting match. No official play here, but I think it's an intriguing match to talk about. It's a battle between big serving Liudmila Samsonova and the former Wimbledon champion Marketa Vondrousova. Vondrousova has had all kinds of injury problems since she won at SW19. She's trying to get on the comeback trail. She ended last season losing her last 3 matches of the year, and she got beat by Freck in round 1 in Brisbane, which wasn't a great performance. On the flip side, Samsonova did okay, got through to the quarterfinals in Brisbane, where she got beat by Jessica Pegula. This is a very interesting match, and this match starts at, going to get you the time, this match is 9 p.m. So 9 p.m. tonight, Liudmila Samsonova against Marketa Vondrousova. These are the current odds with Bet Rivers. Vondrousova minus 134, Samsonova plus 108. Spread is 1.5, total 21.5. And there's set betting and set spread as well. I looked at this match earlier today. Obviously, Vondrousova leads 2-1 in the head-to-head. But I think I'm still not convinced by her fitness. There has been some money for Vondrousova in the early flurries, Tim. But I think because it's an early start and the heat is going to be very hot, I think that falls into the hands of Samsonova, a big serve. Am I going on the right angle? She did beat her in Berlin in 2021 on grass, the only time they met on grass, and the 2 previous wins for Vondrousova were in Dubai in 2024 and at the Australian Open in 2022.
Yeah, this was a match I was half interested to get your take on this, Nigel, because a little bit like Kenin for you, I think Vondrousova is kind of that kind of player. For me, a difficult player to call. Obviously, lots of injury concerns, and sometimes you're not quite sure when she's fully fit and she's at her best. And another interesting stat there, obviously, Samsonova got the better of her on the grass, but both times they met on outdoor hard. One of them being in Australia. Vondrousova's won all 4 sets they've played. So I think a tricky game to call. I think maybe if you had a lean, I think Samsonova at plus 108 maybe, but then that's going against what we've just said about the outdoor hard games there. But a little bit, you're taking a bit of trust, aren't you, with Vondrousova about what sort of kind of condition she's in. And I think for me, it would only have to be sort of a very small lean, because I think with Vondrousova, like we say, tricky to call. When maybe she's got a couple of games under her belt, that says she wins a couple here, then she goes into Australia. You've got a little bit of more of an idea about where she is in her sort of fitness stakes and what you might expect going forward. A difficult player to trust. Obviously, she's lost her last 4 tour level matches. I think one of them she didn't even take to the court in that Sabalenka match in the US Open when she was in great form, wasn't she? Coming up to that, and everyone thought she might have a chance of causing Sabalenka a bit of a shock there, but. And Samsonova, you'd like to think the conditions should suit her here, but they should have suited her in Australia, where she got beat by Vondrousova. So I think there's a lot to take on trust here. So for me, it's a game I don't really want to be getting involved in, because I haven't got a strong bet. So I think in that case, it's probably just a game to watch. And I think if Vondrousova does come through, you keep an eye on the game, because you might be able to get some clues going forward.
I think it's all about Vondrousova's fitness, isn't it? I mean, she retired in that walkover in the US Open, and then she went to Tokyo, retired again. She's come back this season and hasn't won a match. She got beat by Magdalena Freck. That was an epic match, though, 7-5, 6-7, 7-6. But she lost that final tiebreak to 0. She lost it to Love, 7-0. And I think it's all about her fitness. Whether that match took something out of her, I said a lot of tennis to play and then come back again when you've had a lot of lengthy period off. I do think the speed of the court will suit Samsonova. Samsonova beats herself up sometimes. I think this is a genuine 50-50 call. I do. I'm surprised that Vondrousova is being bet, but I think at plus 108, I would lean towards Samsonova just on the prices, nothing else. But we'll see. That match, as I said, 9 p.m.
Right in the middle of the 2.5 sets, maybe. They might both have their moments during the game. That could be a bit of a play.
Yeah, but you would have thought that in the 3 matches that they played before, and they've all been straight sets. So
a difficult game to be confident on, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's better betting options out there, but we have put it in there because it is one of the big games of the day, and I think it's a 50-50 call. So you pay your money, you take your choice. What do you want to do, Vondrousova or Samsonova? But that one is the highlight of the day. It's 9 p.m. Eastern time, and you can follow it on the Bet Rivers app. Where we do have official pays is not on one of the most glamorous matches of the day, I suppose, but doesn't matter where you get a winner is a winner, and it's in the match between Anastasia Potapova against Kimberley Birrell. Potapova is minus 155 on the money line. Birrell is plus 123. Spread 2.5 here. Total 21.5. There are some set bet and set spreads on the graphic there. As well as that, again, over 30 more markets available on the Bet Rivers app and the website. I'm trying to find the time for this one. This one is, again, it's a 9 o'clock start. So right in the heat. Going to be quite hot conditions. Potapova, I said to her last week, didn't I, how inconsistent she is. I don't know what to read with her. And she went and got beat by Christiane in qualification here. In Adelaide. It says Adelaide.
Yeah, she's lucky to be here, yeah.
I look at her thinking, hang on a minute, she got beat by Christiane. Yeah, I was looking at mine thinking this is wrong. And I got that wrong. But Birrell obviously holds a very commanding head-to-head lead. 2-0, and both of those matches were last year. In Miami, she beat her 7-6 in a third set, and she beat him in Brisbane 6-2, 7-6, 6-2. So Birrell has the head-to-head advantage. Potapova got beaten in qualification. Confused me while she's here, but Christiane beat her. And she got beat by Schneider in Brisbane in a match that we spoke about last week as well in round 2. Another upset on the cards?
I'm hoping so, yeah. We're going to get with another home hope, another Aussie here in Kimberley Birrell. Like we say, Potapova, she's actually sort of lucky to be here. She's only here as a lucky loser. She won her first qualifying match, but she was well beaten by Jacqueline Christian. And I think in that match, again, her attitude was a little bit questionable for me there. And like we say, when she's on a going day, she can look very good, but it doesn't take a lot for her to sort of get into a little bit of a sulk. And I'm hoping this sort of goes the same way. Birrell obviously leading that head-to-head 2-0 with victories in Brisbane, which should play fairly similar here. So hopefully the conditions should be suiting her. And she leads the service points one, return points one totals of those matches. Again, 110-90. So sort of comfortable victories in those 2 matches. She won her first match of the season in Brisbane before losing to Anastasia. No real disgrace in that. We know that's what kind of tennis Anasimova's been playing lately. And yeah, I think just with the conditions here and the home support and that sort of head-to-head record, Birrell here at plus 123 just looked a little bit big. You could say Potapova sort of being a lucky loser. She's sort of got nothing to lose, but I think with Birrell, that record she has here and on a surface conditions with home support behind her, I just thought plus 123 was too big there. So yeah, that another official play just on the money line, Kimberley Birrell.
Kimberley Birrell is our third official play at plus 123 and our final official play in Adelaide. There is another 250 going on this week in Australia. It's in Hobart, where the weather conditions are a little bit different, a little bit cooler near Tasmania. What are you made of last night action here? A bit of rain around as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of rain around, like we spoke about. There's probably going to be a little bit of rain coming into tomorrow as well. So we're just going to have to hope there's no interruptions as far as the matches go. They're obviously going to get completed at some stage, but hopefully we can get them through tomorrow without any breaks, with any luck. Like we said, conditions a little bit slower here. I haven't had the stats come through for the first round matches yet, because I think there's maybe still a game going on there, so they haven't completely come through. But yeah, a little bit slower. I think certainly slower than Adelaide, and conditions that should suit sort of a couple of players that we're going to talk about in our first match.
It was a night for shocks over in Hobart as well. Obviously, our pick, Kessler got beat by Danilovic. McNally got beat as well as a favourite. Anne Lee come through a bit of a struggle. Buzaz Monero got beat, which was another shock. Hayley Baptiste got beat. So it was a night of underdog winners over in Hobart there. And obviously, it left the tournament wide open here. And the first match is the tournament favourite we are going to discuss. And it's a night match. This is 2:30 a.m. on the early hours of Tuesday morning, Eastern time. So it's a night match in Hobart, which means it's going to be a lot cooler, which won't suit Emma Raducanu here. Now, I'm always the person who's always fading Emma Raducanu and not wanting to bet with them. I think she's going to have a good year this year. But she's minus 286 to win this. The conditions aren't going to suit her. She probably wants to get to the Australian Open quickly as possible rather than be at this tournament. I think she's a fade on the outright market. She's up against Camilla Osorio at plus 220. Spread is 4.5 here, and the total is 20.5. Now, these two have met once before, and it was in Washington in 2022 in much quicker conditions than they're going to play here. And Raducanu won that 7-6, 7-6. It was a tough battle. I've mentioned many times on these shows, and I mentioned on the previous show, I've seen Camilla Osorio probably 3 or 4 times around my travels. She has a fanatical Colombian support wherever she goes. Raducanu, cold, slow conditions, which will suit the Colombian here. I'm not saying there's a shock on the cards. I think Raducanu may have enough about her to win this match. But I'm certainly, there's a few markets that I want to get with the Colombian. Are you on the same mindset as me, or do you think this is fairly one-way traffic for Raducanu?
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat as you here, Nigel. I'm going to get with the Colombian in some way. Obviously, we spoke about in our preview show for the tournament about Raducanu being a sort of a number 1 seed that might be a little bit weak, and you'd be a sort of brave man to be getting with her. And like you say, she leads that 1-0 head-to-head, but a very tight match there, 7-6, 7-6 in Washington. And these conditions should favour Osorio a little bit more here. Like you say, cooler conditions and going to be even cooler in the night when this match takes place. Raducanu, she's lost her last 4 tour-level matches, and she actually hasn't won a match since the 27th of September. She looked rusty when losing to Maria Sakkari in the United Cup there. And I think the Great Britain captain, Tim Henman, said she was only just about ready to compete here in that match against Sakkari, because I think people expected her to play in the round before, but Tim Henman said she wasn't ready. So there's certainly a lot of trust to be taken on Raducanu here, and I'd expect a little bit more of the same. She's also been toying with a change of equipment, Raducanu. She's played that Wilson Blade racket since she came on tour, but she has been seen trying out Yonex equipment on the practice courts. But I think she said she doesn't want to switch equipments just yet until she has a little bit more time to bed in with the new stuff. So she wants to do a little bit more testing there. So I think she's definitely got a few questions to answer the number 1 seed. And the best way I thought we could probably get with Osorio is Bet Rivers offer total player game markets. And I think Osorio over 9.5 total player games is -124 with BetRivers. And that looks a good way to go. Obviously, she lost that first match in straight sets, but she'd have cashed that over 9.5 games very comfortably, taking it to 2 tie breaks. And perhaps the money line could be worth a small bit of pizza money, maybe, if you're looking to get involved in that. But I think the safest way to get with Osorio here is the over 9.5 player games.
I think it's a great trading match because Osorio at plus 220 will have opportunities because Raducanu gives so many cheap points away on her serve, lots of double faults. She gets tight on big points at the moment. That's been the case for years. So overs on Raducanu games is always a pretty good format to go to. The spread obviously 4.5, and that brings in the over 9.5 as well for Osorio. But this will not be easy for the number 1 seed. It's scheduled for UK TV. It's not put on the time that she would want to play. She'd want it quicker. It will suit Osorio, this one. So there could be a shock on the cards in Hobart in round 1. There's been a tournament of shocks, a night of shocks, and there could be another one on the cards here. Now, the next match, probably the most fascinating match of the whole of the women's card this weekend. No official play on it on this midweek, but no official card on it. But this is an interesting match. You've got Tatjana Maria, aged 38, in terrible form, actually, up against Venus Williams, aged 45. I can't remember a game where combined age has been bigger than this. Can you, Sean? Sean, I keep calling you Sean. Tim, can you think of a 45-year-old and a 38-year-old taking the court? It's got to break records.
Sean and I have got the same hair, but I just want to state that I'm taller than Sean. I'm definitely taller than 5'7".
Not much.
But yeah, I can't remember the last time a combined player's age was over 80. I mean, I'll have to delve a little bit deeper to find out.
When me and you took the court, it was in the hundreds.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd half fancy giving Maria a run for her money at the moment. But yeah, I was surprised here. I thought Venus Williams at plus 128 initially sort of looked a little bit too big for me. We know Maria.
We got the money with her last week, didn't we? We got the money with her last week. You called the game absolutely spot on. She the handicap, but obviously she's up against Tatjana Maria. Just hits the slice, does nothing else, gets the ball back in court. Venus Williams' power could absolutely just run right through Tatjana Maria. Whether she's got the belief here, but this is a great matchup for Venus Williams. Plus 128. And it's crazy to think that I'm looking at this. Well, you're both looking at this, thinking plus 128 Venus Williams could be a bet at 45. But I mean, she's minus 159 Tatjana Maria, plus 128 Venus Williams. Spread is 2.5. Total here is 20.5. We did get the money last week with the angle of Tatjana with getting with Venus Williams here. But sorry, I mean, I can't understand that people are trying to. There's been a huge move in the last hour or two for Tatjana Maria. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think you'd have to be brave. I mean, Maria's had to drop down to challenger level to win to get some victories under her belt. I think her last tour level win was in Guadalajara in September, the 11th of September, and the only victories she's had, like we said, have come at challenger level. Obviously, Venus Williams, she did us a favour last week. I think Maria's obviously going to try and sort of disrupt Williams's game. She's obviously the cleaner hitter, the more power. She's just going to try and drag out mistakes from Venus Williams's racket. And I think if she does that, then obviously that's the only way she's going to win. Williams is the cleaner hitter, the better player. I think we know that even at the age of 45, she's played that better level tennis. Obviously, she played extremely well last week. A little bit unfortunate, perhaps, to lose in 3 sets, but I think perhaps at her age, when it does go to a third set, she's going to be up against it, Williams. So again, perhaps the plus 270 on Venus to win 2-0, maybe another sort of bit of pizza money if you're looking to get involved. I think, like we said, she's the better player. I'm amazed these two have never met, actually. That was one thing I was a little bit surprised about when looking through the stats. But yeah, I think a tricky game to really get involved with it. Yeah, like I said, if I was looking for a bet, maybe pizza money, Williams 2-0 to get it done cleanly. With Maria's confidence should be pretty in the gutter at the moment, I would have thought. And Williams, we saw a decent level of ability even last week off her, didn't we?
Yep, we made her an official bet last week and we got the money. We're not making an official bet this week at 45 years of age. We can't try. It's saying something we're betting a 45-year-old to win 2 sets to love. It's incredible. But that's the bet we like. That's the angle we like. But it's not an official play. It's a lead. Venus Williams is plus 270. It is 9:30 p.m. Eastern time for American television. And Venus Williams is always box office wherever she plays. And I think this is an opportunity for her to get a win here. against a player that has declined very, very quickly since she won the Queen's Club Championship last summer. Our final match and our final official play of the week on the WTA show is the match involving another former Wimbledon champion, Barbora Krejcikova, up against Peyton Stearns. Barbora Krejcikova is minus 295 with Bet Rivers. Peyton Stearns is plus 225. The spread is 4.5. Total here is 21.5. Again, whole host of markets available on the app. We haven't got any head-to-head records between the two of them, but we do know that Peyton Stearns is in a bit of a slump at the moment. She hasn't won. She lost her first match against Quevedo, which was a really bad loss in the first round of the Australian Open against the girl ranked 129 in the world. She got beat by Volanets in Beijing in round one. She got beat by Magdalena Freck at the US Open. And Krejcikova has had all kinds of injury problems, but she has shown a little bit of improvement. She beat Maya Joint at the United Cup, which was a big win. And she lost to Elise Mertens in a tight 3-setter. So Krejcikova on the comeback trail. Peyton Stearns looking for some form. Where is the angle here?
Yeah, Stearns certainly in a real slump at the moment, and Krejcikova hopefully sort of not quite in as bad a form for certain. Like we said, she won 2 of her 3 matches at the United Cup, quite impressive against Maya Joint, and then lost a real tight third set to Elise Mertens. I think she went down 7-5 in the third. So I think she played in Adelaide last year, and she's actually decided to come to Hobart this year, and that might actually be a smart move for her because the conditions might just suit her a little bit more. We know she likes a little bit more time on the ball. She also goes well in this part of the world. She made the quarterfinals of Australian Open last year, losing out to Sabalenka. I think she beat Maria Andreeva along the way. So where she goes well in this part of this world. And like we said, Peyton Stearns, she's been really poor on the other side of the court. She's only won 3 of her last 14 tour level matches. That goes back to the middle of May last year. I think that was going back to Rome, that goes back to. And I think in that time, the only 3 players she's beaten were ranked 230, 274, and 98 in the world. So far from decent opposition. 7 of those 11 matches have been coming straight sets losses, including on her seasonal debut this year in Auckland when she lost to world number 141, Caitlin Quevedo, like you said, where she was soundly beaten 6-2, 7-5. I think she lost the service points, one return points, one tells in that match, 117-83. She served 6 double faults and she only won 33% of her second serve points against a player ranked that low. So lots of questions for her to answer right now. A few different markets you probably could get with against Stearns here. But I thought the best way to go is with Stearns to win a set, no. Is minus 109 with Bet Rivers, and that looked the best play to me. So, yeah, certainly a player who's sort of well out of form and looking for a bit of a turnaround. But I'd be surprised if it comes here against a Grand Slam champion.
Stearns not to win a set, minus 109. Krejcikova to win 2 live, minus 112. Amazing how many times that happens sometimes on the Bet Rivers app. Just a little bit of an edge for us there. By
eke out the value, where we can get it.
Yeah, we got to eat out the value. You know, that's what we're here to do. Minus 109. Stearns not to win a set. Available on the Bet Rivers app. Download the app now. Live stream any of these matches if you place a wager on the Bet Rivers app. So that is our preview for round 1 matches in the 2 tournaments this week in Adelaide and Hobart. Very, very different conditions. We have the Australian Open starting next week. Incredible to think we're straight in to the first major of the year, and myself and Tim will be back to cover everything we have on the women's tennis there with a whole host of shows throughout the next fortnight as well. Before I leave you, please, Tim, if you could give me the best bets on the show, your official plays, please.
Yeah, so four matches. Obviously, we covered 6 matches, but 4 official plays. I mean, it won't always be like this, but this looked a card where hopefully we can find a little bit of value. So yeah, over in Adelaide in the first match, My Joint versus Sofia Kenin. We're going to get with My Joint minus 2.5 games at plus 105. We're going to have 1 point on that, and we're going to have half a point on My Joint to win in two sets to love at plus 175. And staying Adelaide, Kimberley Birrell versus Anastasia Potapova. We're going to get with the home hope again here. Kimberley or Birrell on the money line at plus 123. Another 1 point win. And moving on to Hobart in the Emma Raducanu versus Camilla Osorio match. We're going to go over 9.5 player games for Camilla Osorio at minus 124. Another 1 point win. And finally, Peyton Stearns versus Barbora Krejcikova. We're going to go Stearns to win a set, no, at -109. Another 1 point win. So 4 1 point wins, and then just the extra half a point on joint to win 2-0 at +175.
They are all our official plays, and remember, our official plays get underway at around about 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight and go through all the evening, so you'll be able to watch them on the Bet Rivers app. Remember, myself and Sean will be back tomorrow on Betting Weekly Game Bet Match, as well as Wednesday as well, and there's a Betting Weekly Game Bet Match preview show for the tournaments this week, which is live on the YouTube channel, the Betting Weekly Studios. If you haven't subscribed, I know we've got a lot of subscribers, a lot of people who come into new for this season on the tennis. Welcome along. Please hit the subscribe button. It's really important for us to get subscribers. Watch the show. Tell your friends as well. If you want the best tennis betting content on YouTube, just hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified of every time anything drops. And finally, if you haven't subscribed or followed us on our socials, at Because We Win is where you want to go. There's lots of exclusive stuff going on there. And I'm going to ask Tim this week, if he likes anything else, if he could post it on the Instagram account. So get across to Instagram, at Because We Win. I've given you a little pick on that as well that come through the first round yesterday. And she's half the price now in the tournament in Hobart after when I saw the draw. I said I'll give you a pick on Instagram after I saw the qualifiers in Q3 in the draw at Hobart, and exactly what I did. So lots of content there, lots of exclusive content from not only myself and Tim, but all the Because We Win crew, available on our socials at Because We Win. Sean, I'm going to stop calling you Sean. Why am I keep calling you Sean?
If I get a wig, then maybe we can sort something out.
Tim, have a great week. I look forward to seeing you when the draw is announced for the Australian Open, which I think we're going to have a preview show on Friday, or maybe Saturday. But we'll have you covered when the draw is announced. We'll have an outright show, and we'll have a best bets for round one. So have a great week, Tim. Take care, mate.
Cheers, Sean. Nigel. Hey, I'm doing it as well now. Look, there we go.
Sean isn't here, but Sean is available on Better Weekly Game Bet Match. Take care. All the best.